Exactly 1 week ago, the football world believed it was witnessing a script written by the gods. When Lionel Messi stepped onto the pitch for his opening match of the 2026 World Cup, the atmosphere wasn't just electric, it was spiritual. A breathtaking hat trick against Algeria sent a clear message to the globe. The magic was untouched. The king was still on his throne. Journalists rushed to their laptops, the internet exploded, and the narrative was instantly locked in. This was going to be the flawless, poetic, untouchable last dance. But football is a cruel, unforgiving sport, and history has a dark habit of repeating itself. While the world was busy romanticizing the fairy tale, behind closed doors, a cold, calculating counter-revolution was already taking place. In the luxury hotels and high-tech tactical rooms of international managers, the romanticism was stripped away. Elite coaches didn't look at Messi as a god. They looked at him as a puzzle. A 39-year-old puzzle with a finite amount of physical energy. They realized a terrifying truth that Argentina did not want them to discover. To destroy this historic team, you do not actually have to beat Argentina. You just have to make 90 minutes of football an absolute, living, physical hell for Lionel Messi. Tonight, we break down the hidden plot that the mainstream media is completely ignoring. We are going inside the tactical war rooms to expose the brutal blueprint designed to crush Messi's final dream, paralyze Argentina, and turn his ultimate tournament into a tragic nightmare.
To truly understand the sheer brutality of this blueprint, we have to look past the highlights and dive deep into the cold numbers of the post-Algeria matches, specifically the tactical disaster that was the match against Austria. In previous World Cups, whether it was 2014 or even the glorious run in Qatar 2022, opposing teams utilized a traditional defensive system against Messi. They would park the bus. They would drop 8 or 9 players deep into their own penalty box, congest the spaces, and simply pray that Messi wouldn't find a gap to slip a pass through. It was a passive defense. It gave Messi time on the ball, even if it limited his options. But in 2026, the strategy has mutated into something far more sinister. It is no longer passive, it is violently proactive. Analysts are calling it the moving cage.
Let's break down exactly how it works on the pitch. The moment Argentina builds up from the back, the opposing team completely ignores the traditional zonal lines. Instead, they assign a rotating triangle of 3 hyper-physical, highly aggressive central halfbacks and defensive midfielders. Their sole, microscopic objective for 90 minutes is Lionel Messi. When Messi drops deep to pick up the ball from Enzo Fernandez or Alexis McAllister, areas where he usually has time to turn and look up, the cage instantly snaps shut. One midfielder aggressively presses him from the front to block his forward vision. A second defender tightens from the side to cut off his signature left foot curling lane, and a third player tracks him from behind, physically stepping into his space, clipping his heels, and using body weight to prevent him from turning. Look at this footage from the 42nd minute against Austria. Messi receives the ball, and within 1.2 seconds, 3 Austrian shirts are violently closing the space. He is forced to pass backward. This isn't just happening once or twice a game. It is a relentless, psychological suffocation that happens every single time he touches the ball.
Now, a cynical fan might say, Messi has been marked by 3 players his entire life. What makes 2026 any different? The answer is simple, undeniable, and terrifying. Time. At 39 years old, Lionel Messi's biological clock is the greatest ally his opponents have. The human body, no matter how gifted, cannot escape the laws of physics. In his corner Messi, he would simply use an explosive burst of acceleration, leave them in his dust, and shatter your entire defensive structure in 3 steps. But in 2026, those explosive 5-meter bursts are limited. He has to conserve his energy.
he has to choose his moments with extreme precision. The creators of this anti-Messi blueprint know this. Their plan isn't just to steal the ball from him, it is to physically exhaust him.
According to official FIFA tracking data from this week, Messi is currently facing the highest percentage of contested physical duels of any attacker in the tournament. Opponents are deliberately making the game ugly. They are using tactical fouls, clever, cynical shirts pulls, trips, and body checks that don't always warrant a yellow card, but leave Messi hitting the hard grass over and over again. Every time a 39-year-old athlete has to lift his body off the ground after a heavy collision, a fraction of his stamina is permanently drained for the rest of the match. By the 70th minute of these games, Messi isn't just fighting the opposition tactical setup. He is fighting lactic acid, muscle fatigue, and sheer physical exhaustion. The blueprint is designed to wear the king down until his legs can no longer execute what his brilliant mind desires.
While Messi is quietly fighting for survival inside this tactical cage, the psychological pressure outside the pitch is reaching a boiling point. Because the ghost that has chased his entire career refuses to fade into the background. Just 24 hours after Messi was suffocated by Austria's tactical trap, Cristiano Ronaldo walked onto the pitch in Houston, written off by the media, called a ghost and a statue at 41 years old. Ronaldo did exactly what Ronaldo does best. He turned the narrative into a personal war zone. He scored twice, broke the historic record by scoring in 6 different World Cups, looked straight into the lens of the world's media, and screamed, "I'm back."
The contrast between the two eternal rivals in this tournament is fascinating and brutal. Ronaldo's role in this Portugal team has been simplified. He can afford to stand in the box, find a pocket of space, use his predatory instincts, and finish the play. He doesn't need to build the attack. He doesn't need to run the midfield. But Messi does not have that luxury. Argentina's entire tactical identity is hardwired into Messi's feet. If Messi doesn't drop back to create, Argentina's midfield looks completely lost and devoid of ideas. Against Austria, Messi was forced to record over 42 passes just to keep his team alive, many of them deep in his own half. While Ronaldo can focus all his energy on the final strike, Messi is being forced to be both the engine room and the finisher. It is a dual burden that no player, no matter how legendary, can sustain this level of intense international football.
To truly understand why the Argentina coaching staff is sweating behind the scenes, we have to travel 16 years back in time. We have to look at the dark blueprint of South Africa 2010. Back then, a young, unstoppable Lionel Messi arrived at the World Cup under the management of the legendary Diego Maradona. Argentina had an incredibly talented squad filled with world-class forwards. But tactically, they made a fatal mistake. They assumed Messi's individual genius would always find a way, regardless of the system around him. When they ran into a highly organized, deeply disciplined German team in the quarterfinals, Joachim Löw deployed an early prototype of the blueprint we are seeing today. They isolated Messi from his midfield. They cut off the passing lanes between him and his strikers. Every time Messi looked up, he saw a wall of white jerseys. The result was a humiliating, heartbreaking 4-0 defeat that left Messi weeping in the dressing room. The terrifying truth of 2026 is that Lionel Scaloni's current squad is showing the exact same symptoms of overdependence. In their recent matches, when Messi is trapped inside the cage, the rest of the Argentina team seems to freeze. Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez find themselves completely starved of service. The wingers stop making overlapping runs because they're waiting for a magical pass from Messi that never comes, because Messi is currently fighting off 3 defenders 50 yards away from the goal. The opposition managers aren't just neutralizing Messi, they are using Messi's greatness as a weapon to paralyze the entire Argentine nation.
The blueprint is out.
The tape has been distributed to every video analyst in the world. From this moment on, there are no easy games left for Argentina. Every single manager they face, from the group stage to the knockout rounds, is going to copy this exact formula. They are going to build the cage tighter, they are going to make the tackles harder, and they are going to test the limits of Messi's physical endurance. This is no longer a standard quest for a trophy. This has evolved into a psychological and physical war of survival for the greatest player to ever lace up a pair of boots. Lionel Scaloni faces the ultimate managerial crisis of his career. He has to find a way to break the blueprint. He has to convince the rest of this star-studded Argentine squad to step out of Messi's shadow, to take responsibility, and to punish teams for committing 3 defenders to 1 man. If Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo Fernandez, and the wingers cannot exploit the massive spaces left open by teams hyper-focusing on Messi, then the cage will win.
Throughout his legendary 2-decade career, Messi has made a living out of doing the impossible. We have seen him surrounded by entire Real Madrid defenses and emerge with the ball. We have seen him broken, bleeding, and heavily criticized, only to lift the Copa America and the World Cup in Qatar. His entire legacy is built on destroying the plans of men who thought they could contain him. But as the lights get brighter, the bodies get heavier, and the clock ticks down on his final appearance on the world stage, does the 39-year-old wizard have one last earth-shattering miracle left in his boots to shatter the blueprint forever?
The world desperately wants the fairy tale ending.
Millions of fans across the globe want the romance of the flawless last dance. The image of Lionel Messi lifting the golden trophy into the night sky one final time, cementing his immortality forever. But football is not Hollywood. It is ruthless, it is tactical, and it is intensely physical. The 2026 World Cup is proving to be the most cold-blooded tournament we have seen in modern history. The trap has been set. The blueprint is active. Now, the final chapter is in the hands of the master himself. Can Lionel Messi adapt, break the cage, and punish the world for doubting him one last time? Or will the physical reality of this hidden plan bring a tragic, premature end to the...
Where do you stand on this tactical war? Are opposing teams playing too dirty and ruining the beauty of the game? Or is this simply brilliant, necessary football to stop a genius? And can Argentina survive if Messi is neutralized? Drop your deep tactical breakdowns and honest predictions in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Make sure to smash that like button, share this video with every football purist you know, and hit that subscribe button right now. Because the very second the final whistle blows on Argentina's next massive make-or-break match, we will be right here with the deepest tactical fallout analysis on YouTube. Thank you for watching the entire documentary. Stay sharp, and I will see you in the next breakdown.